It's not often I come ashore. All of my work is offshore behind me, unless the oil company want to see me in their office here at the terminal. The superintendent will always want to tell me first about his ranch and horses. The guns in his truck over there in the States. And sometimes forgets why I have come to see him. Commuting in the morning by helicopter and returning in the afternoon. On another day I would come to have a look round the pipeline and flange stores. There is a clubhouse where you can have a beer and a game of snooker. The subsea hoses for the SPM are made up here on the beach. Ready for emergency if we have a problem. We can get one of the tugboats, tow it from the beach. And we'll tow it the 25-mile journey to the tanker mooring systems so that we can replace it. This beach is used as a road for the motorbikes running up and down for miles. They're carrying fish, and fruit, and 3 or 4 people on one small motorbike. Recently we have had a couple of our outboard engines stolen from our warehouse. They have probably traveled this same journey never to be seen again. If you ask around the village, nobody has seen anything. The heat and humidity, and lack of wind, there is no escape, day or night, from the oppressive heat. At night, the crickets and frogs can keep you awake with their squeals and croaking. Heavy rain. There is nothing like going to sleep at night with the sound of a tropical rainstorm pouring down huge drops of water on your tin roof. Surrounded by jungle. No roads, no power lines, no fences, no strict rules. The kids have fun with what is at hand, but they all like football. The forest is alive, and it grows at a rapid speed. The Nigerian maintain a small space for their village, through constant use of pathways. Infection and disease. The damp, warm environment is friendly to diseases and infections. People that are not used to the unnamed tropical diseases that thrive in these conditions can easily get boils and infections from simple mosquito bites or scratches that fester and can endanger your life. Malaria is a constant threat, and without modern medicine, it can easily kill. And the medicine itself can be nearly as bad as the disease. Bugs. The bugs are exotic and huge. You are reminded that you are not in control, and that is an important lesson that we often forget in the modern world. Palm wine is the local alcoholic drink. Brewed and distilled from sap from either raffia palm or oil palm trees. Cannabis is perhaps the world's most recognizable plant. It's an herbaceous annual that can grow to a height of 8 feet, 4 meters. The plant has flowers that bloom from late summer to mid-fall, when grown outdoors. Of course, plenty of people grow cannabis. Not that I have seen any. Well, let's move on. I am going to try to explain what it is a commercial diver is. When people think about diving, tropical vacations and swimming next to brightly colored fishes comes to mind. But there's a grittier world. Commercial diving. Construction divers like myself performs the same type of work that is done above water. Cutting and welding steel, inspecting ships' hulls, tanker mooring systems, and pipelines. Recover sunken objects, installation of deep-water subsea structures, manifolds, the only difference being that the environment sometimes is deep and dark, and sometimes can be dangerous. With the additional factors of wearing a heavy diving helmet. Now, oil is something that is integral to the modern world, and as long as we continue to depend on oil as a fuel, without it, the world as we know it would come to a halt. There is a growing demand for oil rig divers in offshore oil platforms, as new work on new reserves is booming. But living away from home for weeks and often months at a time, often in long shifts in stressful environments, all make it quite a demanding job. It is for this reason that oil rig divers tend to get offered attractive wages. As you can see, my helicopter has arrived, and the Nigerian transport operator here tells me to get a move on, as there has been an accident on the runway. The locals will insist in using it as a road. It's blocked and there's an aircraft waiting to leave. Well, here we go again. I'm on the next leg of my journey. Seatbelt on ready. You know that helicopters have a bad reputation. Many people are unfamiliar with them. They think that helicopters are a collection of rotating parts, ready to fly apart and cause disaster at any time. Or they have seen a tail rotor shot off by a missile in an action movie and picture themselves spiraling to the ground, victims of inherent instability. People have had to make judgments about the riskiness of helicopter flight without good information. They can be dangerous. Anyone who says they are not is either in denial or doesn't want to scare us away. This is true about a lot of things, not just flying. Helicopters are dangerous in that simple mistakes and oversights can be fatal. However, as with anything, risks can be mitigated by good maintenance, good pilot judgment, and safe flying techniques. Did you know that if the engine stops turning, a helicopter can arrive on the ground pretty much the same way you would if the engine hadn't stopped, due to the fact that a helicopter can auto-rotate? It's amazing how few people know this. All the pilots practice auto-rotations at least once a year, down to a hover. That is, without actually touching down in order to avoid damage from hard landings. That tells you something right there. Let's not kid ourselves though. I've been flying as a passenger for decades, and never been involved in an accident, but have seen a few. You see people in helicopters, in the movies all the time, no ear pro, having a normal conversation. For that matter, why can't you even hear the helicopter? On the inside, all you hear is that whop whop. No engine noise, no nothing else. Every helicopter I've been in, this is impossible unless you've got a headset. Either way, it's way too loud to have a conversation, except maybe yelling right next to someone's ear. Every helicopter I've been on, you are given hearing protection. Nothing like what you see in the movies with people just chatting away. You can chat with the microphone on the headset to the pilot, or a passenger again with the microphone. I have been in some really bad weather, raining, thick cloud, and being bounced around. That can get a bit scary. I have just got time to tell you about this platform. The industrial areas are very noisy, with rumblings from pipes, pumps and compressors. The air may smell strongly of oil and gas. The weather can be harsh. This far out in the open seas there is nothing to shield the facility from extremes of the heavy rain in the wet season, and the heat in the dry season of Nigeria. To work here you need to wear a safety helmet and earplugs. Of course, not everyone who works on a platform is directly involved in extracting oil and gas. Some cook the food, keep the facilities clean or help produce the electricity that keeps the whole operation running. It's not all work. After each long shift of 12 to 14 hours each day, the day shift and the night platform workers take an equally long rest period. Bedrooms are compact and functional, much like the cabins on a ship. Usually two people share a room and sleep on bunks. I just had breakfast in the cafeteria. Every type of breakfast option that you can ever think of is available. Eggs and bacon, ham, hash browns, waffles and pancakes. There is always plenty of ice cream, milkshakes, and steak. Chips and peas is on the menu 24/7. Breakfast, lunch, Dinner, the cafeteria is always open.